Peace, peace, peace. This your brother Monroe Jr. I'm going to be offering my brief commentary right after this quick clip.
Paid to get dozens of homeless Chicago residents off the streets during historic cold temperatures earlier this week. CBS Chicago reports it all started with Candace Payne's first act of kindness, and then it snowballed into a life-saving effort by a group of strangers on the city's south side. On Wednesday, many people living in a tent city had to pack up and move out after one of their propane tanks that was being used for heat exploded. Volunteer Candace Payne started it all impulsively, charging 20 hotel rooms on her American Express card after realizing how dangerous the temperatures would be. That's when other volunteers also dug deep into their pockets and picked up the tab for a total of 60 hotel rooms for homeless men and women during the cold snap. Jermaine and Robert told CBS Chicago that Candace is their angel. They said they don't get that type of help very often, and they really needed it at that point, and Candace came at the right time. In all, her efforts led the volunteer group to being able to cover 3 nights at the hotel for at least 80 people.
Peace, peace, peace. This your brother Monroe Jr. Man, this story touched me to the core, and it's especially when you sacrifice to give to the people. I know I can relate, you know what I'm saying, because I personally do it. But our sister Candace Payne, our sister got 20 hotel rooms for the homeless because they were at like a tent city, right, which was like shelter for them. But something happened with propane that caused them to not be able to stay there anymore. They had to move and vacate that particular premises or area. So Miss Candace Payne learned about it, and it's not like something that was planned, scheduled, just out of her own generosity. She got the hotels for them. Evidently, maybe she didn't have the capital available and had to put it on her credit card, her American Express. I don't know. That's none of my business, but it's the deed, that counts most. And we should all be striving to fill up our good deed bank with our Creator, right? Because you will never know when you need a withdrawal because you made a mistake or you did something that just wasn't right, mentally, morally, or ethically. And you might need to pull on that good deed bank that you have blessed people with. Not that that's what it's there for, but the scripture says that those who oppress the poor or the needy show contempt to our Maker, but those whom do kind acts or good acts toward the poor or oppressed, they show honor to our Maker, to our Creator. So that's what life is about, service to others. And it's such a fulfilling feeling that you get from giving that which you have worked to attain. And it helps to rid us of selfishness. It's like being in a relationship with somebody. And as I heard Brother Nuri say, really it should be a competition to see who can give the most. Well, we can't outgive our Creator because He's always giving. In fact, He set up systems that operate 24/7 that we benefit from. Oh, what a mighty God He is. Think if we didn't have the majesty of that sunlight that gives life to our entire solar system. But more direct here on earth, if we didn't have that sunlight which provides sun to the plants, and that whole system of photosynthesis takes place. And from that sun, those plants convert that sunlight into water and carbon dioxide, which is like food for the plant. And then those plants release oxygen. Oh, brother, see, nature is something else. And that's why the Quran says, let man consider what he has created. We got so much to be grateful for, brothers and sisters. And it's acts like this sister did that really inspires me. So it's like we all should really thrive off giving. That's what really what life is about. That's what makes society function, by people who rid themselves financially, mentally, morally, ethically, spiritually. So it's like if you don't have maybe the capital to help people out, then hey, you can give a kind word. That doesn't cost anything. To be nice to people. How would society be if we were trying to outbest each other in doing good? Oh man, just think about that. That's all people did, was strive to be kind to each other, be nice to each other, try to outbest each other and uplifting each other. What if our society was like that? That's what we call heaven on earth. Well, there's no ill motivations. We doing it out the goodness and the purity of our heart, not looking for anything in return. The Holy Quran says, do no favor seeking gain. Do it cause it's morally right. And that's how we start the revolution of kindness. I remember way back when, about 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little longer, it might have been 9 or 10 years ago, it was a while ago, back when I used to eat fast food, occasionally, every once in a while. And you know, I remember just going up through the drive-thru, and the lady who was at the doorway working the register or the window, she was like, the person before you paid for your food. I was like, that's so nice. You know what I'm saying? They ain't know me from nowhere. Just out of their own kindness and generosity, they paid for my food. You know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that. You know, just if everybody just strive to do stuff for people like that randomly, our society would be so much better, brothers and sisters. That's what we have to start in the inner cities of America. We have to be the example. And honestly, it feels so good when I'm walking around Dallas and people come up to me because I might have helped them at a particular time in their life when they were down, brothers and sisters. We don't know how that makes people feel. So remember that if you don't have the financial resources to help people, you don't have the tangible resources to help people, whether that be clothes, housing, whatever, then you can always, number 2, you can give a kind word, right? You can do a kind gesture, taking out somebody's trash, maybe an elderly lady. I got it for you, ma'am. Let me take this out to the trash. Opening our women's door. These are kind gestures. It ain't gotta be your wife necessarily. It could be a elderly woman or a woman walk. You know, some of us, we get in trouble because we ain't mentally and morally righteous enough to even handle opening a random woman's door. So that just say maybe an elderly woman's door. You know, going up to her and I got it for you, ma'am. You know, just acts of kindness. There's nothing wrong with that, brothers and sisters, and that's how we start a revolution. You know, I think about that story of Jesus and the man who was so holy, so called holy and righteous, because he followed all of the commandments of God. But see, Jesus knew how to look into the heart. And God, he looks into the heart of us. He doesn't look at our stature and our status and our exterior. He looks at the heart of a person. Right? We look surface, a lot of us, but God looks into the heart. And Jesus, he knew the heart of the man. So Jesus said, go give away your riches or your wealth to the poor. And he couldn't follow Jesus because he couldn't handle that obstacle. And that's why the scripture says that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to see the kingdom of heaven that's going to be here on earth. Because it's something about riches and materialism that changes us. Where we get these assets and these tangibles, and we start to look down on people instead of looking up to people. Like it's not greatness in them. Like their greatness might not be buried under some rubbish or some rubble or some material that can be removed. We have to learn how to get up under people and lift them up like them weights. It's hard to lift a lot of weight standing directly over it, but if we can get up underneath it, it helps with the leverage. Let us all, brothers and sisters, strive to continuously fill our good deed bank. So in our day of need, maybe our Creator might grant us a withdrawal. This your brother Monroe Jr. Let's give a salute to this sister, Miss Payne. We love you, Sister Payne. Thank you and those with you for your sacrifices that you all did. As they got collectively 60 rooms, Miss Payne put 20 rooms on her credit card. This your brother Monroe Jr. I'm signing.